Hey everyone, this is Arjun Vijay from Alpha Street, and it's my pleasure to introduce to you Jon Wilk, who's the CEO of CompoSecure, a company that is in the business of manufacturing high-end metal credit cards. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Arjun.
John, first tell us briefly about the company and its history.
So CompoSecure is not a startup. We've been around for more than 20 years at this point. Our heritage is in security and technology and payments. So it started with the metal payment card business that you can see with some of the examples behind me, and has evolved more recently, leveraging that heritage and history into security and authentication with a three-factor authentication solution we call Arcules that can be used in crypto cold storage as well as other applications for strong customer authentication.
All right. I think Arcules is one of your most ambitious products so far. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure. So if you think about all of the advances and the exciting things happening, particularly in the crypto space right now, the numbers of users is exploding. Every month, if you look at public filings, the numbers are increasing month after month. At the same time, the number of hacks or thefts of crypto is also going up significantly. Based on reports we've seen, there's been almost $8 billion in crypto lost this year from hacking and thefts. And for us, that necessitates increased security. And that means consumers controlling the private keys to their crypto. So today, most consumers store their crypto in what we would refer to as a hot wallet, which means that the exchange holds your private keys to your crypto. If the exchange is hacked, or if your device is compromised, or if your username and password is compromised, in any of those three situations, your crypto can vanish. And we saw one of the largest exchanges had 6,000 customers who I think had username or password compromised through whatever technique it was, and they lost all of their crypto. So it is that which we think necessitates new solutions that are easy to use for consumers and provide increased levels of security.
And what is this product exactly?
So this product is a card-based solution, so similar to other things that we've developed. And this card stores your private keys to your crypto in a way that it is essentially, for all intents and purposes, air-gapped, not connected to the online world, except when you are actually transmitting your keys through encrypted entity. And you use three factors of authentication: your biometric, a PIN, and your Arcules card to essentially enable and sign a crypto transaction. And without those three factors, no one can get access to your crypto. And we've designed it in a very simple, easy to use manner that makes transacting from cold storage as easy as operating from a hot wallet.
All right, very interesting. And how do you see your product mix in the future? Do you expect your crypto unit to be a larger player, maybe a couple of years down the line?
If you look at the projections that we've outlined in our investor presentation, yes, we think this can be a bigger business over time than our existing business. The total addressable market for both sides of our business is massive. On the card side, there are more than 13 billion payment cards in circulation. There are 4 to 5 billion payment cards issued in any given year. Last year, we issued 20 million metal cards. So if you do the math, it's perhaps 0.5% of cards that may have been issued in that year. And so we think there is still enormous upside and runway. And for investors, that offers an existing business that is, we think, growing quite nicely in penetration. And it offers the upside opportunity of the three-factor authentication, the crypto solution, and does it in a way that we think is pretty unique for investors from a valuation standpoint.
All right, terrific. John, let's come to your core business. the payments industry we know is a very fast evolving market, and we see a lot of what digital wallets and online payment services like Google Pay, Amazon Pay, and all that. And also there are these tap and pay solutions available. How do you see the impact of these on card payment solutions? Because a lot of times they do away with the need for carrying a physical card.
So those solutions are not new. Apple Pay is 7 years old at this point, and the adoption curve, from my perspective, has been actually very un-Apple-like in terms of its penetration for retail sales. So the reason behind that, from my point of view, is that it's not really solving a true consumer pain point. Cards work extremely well for consumers and have for 50 years. The place where the phone makes the greatest impact, in my view, is where the underlying consumer experience is broken. Music is an example of where storing songs on my phone was a lot more convenient than storing 20 CDs of music in my car. My boarding pass for an airline, same example. It's a whole lot easier to use my phone than it was to go to the airport, stand in line, and have someone hand you a piece of paper. With cards, they work extremely well. And you mentioned it, but we've added tap to pay capabilities with the card. And that convenience, in my view, makes tap to pay with a card as easy or easier than using your phone to pay. Additionally, consumer research would suggest that consumers don't trust their phone as much as they trust their card. And they also don't know who to go to if they have a problem. So if I use Apple Pay or Google Pay and I have a problem with a merchant, do I call Apple? Well, we know the right answer to that, but consumers, don't. And so that's what the research suggests. And, please take my point. Mobile wallets will continue to grow. I'm not suggesting they won't, but, cards are going to be around, in my view, 15 years from now.
Interesting insight. Now, John, I understand JP Morgan and American Express are two of your largest clients. What's the nature and duration of these partnerships? Anything that you can share?
Sure. So the relationships for us are long tenured relationships. So the relationship with American Express is an 18-year relationship. With Chase, it's more than 12 years at this point. And we've gone through multiple RFP cycles with each and have continued to be an important partner to those companies. They design and launch exceptional products in the market. And, we feel honored to be able to partner with them and be a part of that success with some of the cards that you do see behind us. And, we think we're well positioned to continue to help clients like that grow. But we've also seen growth outside of traditional banks with fintech clients around the globe. And this is challenger banks out of Europe, N26, Revolut, Curve, Monzo. We have opened up fintechs out of India. FPL is one of those. And we see that both the fintech space as well as international growth as important levers as we look to the future of this business.
All right. Recently, you had announced your SPAC merger with Roman DBDR. Now, there is a general skepticism when it comes to SPAC mergers, at least with a portion of investors. Why choose the SPAC model in such a scenario when you otherwise operate in a very popular fintech industry?
So when we looked at the SPAC route, one of the things about the SPAC process that was important is we want to be able to tell the story, not just about where we've been, but where we're going. And the SPAC process lets us talk a bit more about where we're heading in the future and to provide some guidance and forecast of where we think we can take this business over the next few years. And in addition to that, going the SPAC route let us choose a partner And that partner in this case was the Roman DBDR team. And the co-CEOs are Don Basile and Dixon Dahl Jr., both who have more than 20 years of experience growing and scaling technology-based businesses. And for us, what we found was not a blank check, but a high value add partner in the Roman DBDR team.
All right. And when is the transaction expected to complete?
We expect it to close in fourth quarter. Just
right.
going through normal procedures at this point.
Great. Just one more question, John. What should investors expect from CompoSecure over the next 2 years?
So let's talk about each business. So in the core business, if you look backward, our CAGR over the last few years has been north of 20%. We've projected a 15% growth rate going forward in the business, with maintaining strong margins. So we've got margins north of 40% in the business. And to use a baseball analogy, we think we're in the third inning of our domestic growth story. We think we're still in the first inning of our international growth story and our fintech growth story. And the business is throwing off the core business in excess of 100 million in free cash flow and almost 120 million in EBITDA projected for this year in the core business. If you look at that from a valuation perspective, a business growing at 15% a year with 40+% EBITDA margins, my observation, typically companies like that would trade at 15, 18 times EBITDA. Our valuation is 10 times EBITDA if you just looked at the core business. And what that would tell you is you're almost getting a free call option on an investment in the crypto and broader digital asset ecosystem. Other SPAC transactions, other companies in the market, you're paying 10 times revenue, not 10 times EBITDA for things like that, at least, if not 15 or 20 times revenue. So we think this is a pretty unique opportunity with an existing business growing, throwing off a lot of cash, where we can leverage that to fund the future growth in the business. On the new side of things, right? We talked about crypto, but crypto is just one example for me. We can use the 3-factor authentication capabilities of Arcules in core financial services to lock down, for example, your investment account at whatever brokerage you use to lock down your bank account. We could use it in the gaming industry. If you think about gaming today and the microtransactions that take place, being able to authenticate the customer, being able to make sure you've got a card present transaction, and being able to enable crypto in the gaming world as well is a huge opportunity. The gambling sector, entertainment, I can go on with different verticals that we think we can attack with this solution. We've got a track record of executing and delivering against growth, and we believe we can do that in the new business as well.
All right, wonderful. So that's it, John. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
Arjun, I appreciate the time today. Thank you.